Hi there, this is Matthew Hunt again, and I'm doing another video on merchant accounts. This is my website. I just thought I'd bring it here. There's a great section I have is merchant account FAQs, and what I was looking to cover today is, as you can see here, if you come to this section here, there's you can subscribe to an email educational program. It's a 3-day program that just tells you about merchant accounts, everything that you'd want to know as a Canadian merchant. You discover all these other questions. You can see there's a full list of. This is a great article. A lot of people love the 17 essential questions every Canadian small business owner must ask before choosing a merchant account provider. But what we're going to address today is I'd like to address the 3 most common mistakes that a lot of merchants make when trying to choose a merchant account provider. And the big mistake that they choose is they try and play the rate game. And it's really difficult to play the rate game out there if you're actually dealing with someone who knows what they're talking about, because they can sort of mask the numbers or back end and not tell you the whole picture on what you're looking for. And that's why I recommend that you actually go and use this guide. This is a page that's in there, the 17 essential questions every Canadian small business owner must ask before choosing a payment processor. I mean, and I've written down every question you can possibly ask and why you need to ask it. Like, what are your discount rates? What's your keyed-in rate versus swipe rate, or corporate cards or international cards, transaction fees, monthly costs for point-of-sale terminal, setup costs, application fees, statement fees, settlement fees, minimum processing fees, gateway, added value, low achievers, chargeback, technical support, etc., etc., etc. A lot of people, don't know all the right questions to ask, so a lot of times they ended up being surprised in the end. And when you're dealing with a sales rep who really knows what they're talking about, they can tell you have a nice low rate, but be back-ending with all sorts of hidden fees to make up for the difference that it actually ends up costing you more in the end. So that's why sometimes it's valuable to use a merchant account specialist like myself, that'll be on your side looking out for what you need. The second one is comparing apples to oranges. And it's sort of along the same thing. The right questions to ask is not all services are created equal. I really think companies that will do well in this industry are always going to be the ones that provide excellent service and technical support. Sometimes it's just better to pay a little bit more money than it is to have a service with lower rates that don't have the amount of money that you need. I give an example in here on this page of a particular company that looks like on the surface they have great rates for a retail point of sale terminal in Canada, but in reality, if the terminal goes down, you need to wait 2 weeks, before they could ship you another one. And their customer service support line is only 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I mean, we all know being a business owner, those are not your business hours. They exceed well into the evening. Sometimes you don't even get a chance to figure out something until midnight at night after, your location is closed. Or if you're a restaurant, it could be 4 in the morning. That's just not going to be a useful service to you. The third mistake that people make is, being fooled by lowball deals and the hidden fees, like I said, and free equipment. Lowball deals, like I said, everybody pays the same buy rates from Visa, MasterCard. It's called interchange. It's public notice. You can get online and look up, Visa Interchange Canada and MasterCard Interchange Canada, and you'll know what the merchant account providers are purchasing those rates at, the buy rates. And, your rate will obviously be a little bit higher than that due to the fact that they got to cover their costs, but that sort of gives you a general idea of where the rates are supposed to be at. So if it's much more below that, then most likely you're being back-ended with a ton of hidden fees, if that makes sense. Or they're going to raise your rate after 6 months of processing and they've locked you into a contract. Now, most contracts or agreements are usually only 3 years with around $300 cancellation fee if you terminate early. But some are as high as $1,000. So you need to, ask what the agreement terms are. Free equipment, I mean, in the States that may exist, but up here in Canada, there's just no such thing. We'll just keep that short, like I said here. Nobody gives anything away for free, and that is enough said. But this is a great little section on my site. Like I said, here's my site, CanadianMerchantAccountServices.com. This is the home page, and where you go is you go to Merchant Account FAQs. And you can just scroll down here. It just says discover the 3 most common mistakes merchants make when choosing a payment processing provider. And like I said, there's tons of other sections. It's really everything you could possibly want to know will be in this section, and this way it'll put you in the know, or allow you to ask the right questions while choosing a merchant account provider. That's it. If you're interested in learning more about my services, like I said, come on over to Canadian Merchant Account Services. You can just type this into your browser here, Canadian-merchantaccountservices.com, and it'll bring you up to the site. You'll be able to contact me if you want a quote. You can always come to the quote page, and I'll be able to just fill out this information. I'll get back to you within 24 hours on business days. There's also gift and loyalty cards and business funding too.